Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. So, cleaning doesn't keep a man. That's what we're told. That's what we're told from many of the feministas, the femcells, the rat femmes, okay, the feminazis. And the thing that I thought was very peculiar about telling women such a thing is that they ignore the part where it's that if you don't clean, he's obviously going to hate you. Because what man wants his children to live in filth? What man wants to live in filth? Do these women not care about bed bugs, cockroaches, fleas? Because when you don't vacuum every day, when you bring your shoes inside, when you have visitors, bed bugs can be on their ankles. There's all kinds of ways bed bugs get into your living quarters. And it is maddening trying to get them away. With fleas, they also come, especially if you have wildlife around, cats and dogs, they're very common. And getting bit up by fleas every night, and then having to wash your bed sheets and vacuum and spray pesticides, it's labor intensive, okay? And it's a battle to win against those bugs. And it doesn't always mean that you're filthy, but what it does mean is that if you don't clean as much as you should, they're going to have an easier time to spread. And ants, there's all kinds of insects who arrive to punish you for your uncleanliness. And if you've ever gone to someone's house and it's just a lot of hoarding mess, there's just dishes really piled high, old food left out, this is very unpleasant. And it's also a biohazard. You can get quite ill. A lot of drug addicts obviously don't clean, and this promotes some of the most horrible environments for children to be raised in. And the amount of stomach aches that children will get. So a dirty woman, it doesn't matter how beautiful she is, if she's absolutely dirty, the man, if he has any spine, any testosterone, he's not gonna like that. And a woman who's proud of her mess, and the in-laws come over, let's say you live in an apartment, the maintenance people come over, they see you're neglecting the carpet, it's just trash, you're just like, wow, maybe you won't even get your deposit back when you move. It's just totally disgusting how women will often give advice to women that destroys them, because they don't give you real advice, as in put on a podcast, do some cleaning. It can be quite relaxing. The only time cleaning is hard is when you're pregnant and when your child is under 1 year of age, because they won't chill, and if you don't have someone to watch the toddler while you clean. Some toddlers can just sit and play with toys. Others are going to get into stuff, knock things over, so you have to keep an eye on them, and maybe you put them in the high chair, get a tripod, put on some halal stuff for them to watch so they can hold still, give them some snacks that are safe, not a choking hazard, and where you can keep an eye on them, but you can get some cleaning done. So when you have sleep deprivation, cleaning is extremely difficult. And if you just had your baby, and let's say you had, C-section scars, you had a tear, you're going to need to heal, let your body heal, because that's very important. But once your child is in the age 2 range, and you're not pregnant, your kids is growing up, then you don't really have this excuse. If you're just lazy, then you have to work on not being lazy. Okay? Now, if you want him to help, have that discussion. But if you will not clean at all, and you want him to pay for a maid service, I don't think you really are examining how that's impractical for tons of people. That can be useful when someone's had a surgery, when there's, a need for it, but you're going to clean every day, naturally. You're going to pay a maid every day, and then you're just going to leave a mess until the maid comes and gets it. What are you teaching your children? And And a lot of maids are quite abused. They don't get treated very well. A lot of them are illegal immigrants who, don't know how to stand up for themselves and get taken advantage of. And hopefully, if you do use a cleaning service, that does create jobs, so that's a good thing, but make sure that you're tipping them well. But you're also draining your husband's money because of your laziness. Imagine if you just cleaned 2 times instead of, okay, the maid comes 7 days a week. You cut 2 of those days off, save that money you would have paid for those 2 days, give it in charity. Use your money wisely. Creating jobs is good, but being lazy is not. And I know you're thinking like, oh, princesses don't clean their castles. And it's like, yeah, but princesses have other duties. They have to do other political meetings. They were not just sitting around painting their nails, looking pretty all day. If you look at how the princesses of England, at least historically, they had to do different charity events. They're doing interviews. They're doing educational stuff. It's not like in the movies where it's just a woman sitting down on her bed with her chihuahua and wearing a different dress every day and, having a bunch of shoes. There's a lot more to being a royal than that. And those are political women in the end who are going to be married off for property and or alliances. Okay? And they're going to go to a new castle, and some of them will have servants, obviously, but you're still going to have stuff that's required of you. So princesses don't get to just become 300 pounds and spend all the king's money on decadence and ostentatious stuff. You got a mother-in-law that you also have to worry about. And right now, I would say women should be motivated to clean. They should want to have a clean environment, especially with all the diseases out there, all the sickness, and a busy mind with busy hands is going to keep boredom and depression away. You'll see women start to give up when they get depressed. They lay down, they let the mess pile up around them. And then if you get them motivated to clean, they feel better looking at a clean environment. Who doesn't like seeing freshly vacuumed carpet? Who wants to see a bunch of dirty stuff on the carpet? It's just not good for you. Nice clear windows. Do the best you can. There will be different episodes in your life where things are going to show the mark of kids. But as you get older, you'll have a cleaner house for longer stretches of time. And because the children have aged. But being dirty and lazy will make a man hate you. And cleaning's not going to stop him from cheating on you. Okay? Because a lot of these women will be like, he's going to cheat on you anyway, so why do you have to clean for him? You're there cleaning while he's out there with his mistress. And that's what I hear them say. But it's not that everything they say they decenter men, but then they're like, well, we won't do anything for a man because we might get hurt. Or we might be unappreciated. And the funny thing is that these women are often the most ungrateful of all, because without money, they don't want to do anything. Money's their sole motivation. And if the man doesn't pay for everything in terms of their luxury desires, then they want to replace him with another rich guy. And so it seems like a vicious cycle to me personally. But when you think of that total degenerate named Cardi B, she had a song where she was talking about how she doesn't clean. She doesn't cook, she doesn't clean. She pays someone. She's just so grimy, It's like walking syphilis. And as a woman, you shouldn't aspire to be that lazy. With those ugly claw nails, you're going to go insane and you're going to start to develop personality problems. Because you're going to just be sitting around gossiping, scrolling away, and mess is piling up around you, and you're just some sloppy pig. Leave it on the floor, the maid will get it. The maid will get it, the maid will get it, the maid will get it. Like your poor maid is like coming in, getting exhausted because you're such a sloth, It's like she's going to war every time she comes into your place. It's despicable. I mean, men should look at a woman who won't clean, who refuses, who doesn't even try, and be like, am I that weak of a man that I will get on my knees and let this gold-digging Jezebel put her heel on the back of my neck while she makes me live in filth, while she teaches my daughters and my sons to live in filth? You know, that entitlement, that laziness. And the weirdest part is that some rich men will go for those women who won't cook and clean. And then those women just are waiting for them to die so they can get some inheritance. It's really quite strange, that whole arrangement with those rich people. Because they don't really have, in many situations, that deep love. You know, how could you not want to mend and take care of your own property? You know, I understand if you get arthritis, you got bad joints, and you're really old, but you still can do the basics. And to keep your body moving is good for your overall joints. I mean, what else are these women doing? They're drinking mimosas, spending money, buying more purses they don't need. They're just spendthrifts. They don't know how to really keep money, so they keep making money, but they spend it on junk. Stuff that's going to end up in a landfill. Because they're addicted to shopping. It's really a sick culture that some of these rich feminists promote. And then they look down on the women who clean. If a woman says she's not going to clean, I think you had a big problem. And men can help out, you know. There's no, like, if you want to do something, like, how do I put it? Okay, let's say she made a nice feast. She was working all day, doing the feast. And you see her later, and she's tired, and then there's like 3 plates and 2 cups in the sink. You go wash them up, and you let her put her feet up to relax. That's something sweet. And let's say she did the majority of the cleaning up already. There's just a couple of scragglers in the sink. That's no big deal. Or you vacuum just because you feel like doing it. You see? So, that's different. Because that can be romantic as well. A man cleaning, you know, you don't want it to where the man's doing it all the time. Especially if he works. But taking care of children at home is also work as well, because if your wife didn't exist, you'd have to pay a nanny, and the nanny, she's not a maid. You know, you have to pay extra for a nanny and maid. And so that's where the interesting aspect comes in. That brings up a larger conversation. But women will usually gladly clean if they feel recognized for it. I know this may seem odd, but if you just kind words, bring her a nice iced vanilla latte, bring her her favorite smoothie, you know, there's that recognition, validation, that it makes her feel like, oh, he sees it, you know? Because a clean home is very valuable. And most women are fine to do it, I'd argue, as long as they feel seen. And there are some men who are pigs, who make a mess on purpose. And then they leave it. That's a problem. So, there's much nuance to the conversation, obviously. But my whole point was, if you're dirty and you refuse to clean, even when there's a mess, you're not doing some form of protest. You're just being a very dirty wench. And you should feel ashamed of yourself. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Join the blog. Please do it now. Do it now.